Newcastle United cannot stop winning games. 9 wins in a row now in all competitions. I'm not going to lie, I'm not in the best of moods. Arsenal have just beaten Tottenham again for the second time this season, and we have only won 7 of 21 games this season. Make sure you go and check out that match reaction. I thought I was fair, to be honest. I didn't get to watch a lot of the Newcastle game, but what I did get to see, Alexander Isak, boy, oh boy, oh boy. For me right now, I think he is the best striker in world football. Newcastle have got an absolute gem. Match winners again, Gordon and Isak. Bruno Guimaraes pulling the strings. The energy of Joelinton and Tonali. They are right now, as of the 15th of June for me, they will get top 4. If they carry on at this rate, they are so, so good. And for the rest of the Premier League, to see teams like Nottingham Forest and Newcastle playing such good football, I think that's fantastic for the Premier League. It gives a lot of other teams hope that with a plan and good recruitment, you can actually do something in this league. But Alexander Isak, the guy is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Like, it's not even funny anymore, is it? It's actually not even funny. Like, I'm looking at Newcastle right now. They've just battered Wolves 3-0 and got another clean sheet. And that's clean sheets in the Premier League against Manchester United, Aston Villa, Wolves, Ipswich Town, Leicester. Clean sheets in the Cup against Arsenal as well. And they've only conceded 2 goals in their last 9 games and scored 24. Now, if that's not sign of a well-balanced side, I don't know what is. Make sure you go down and drop a like if you haven't already. Make sure you have hit that subscribe button. We are steam rolling our way towards 40k, and we're just under 900 now. So if you haven't already and you are enjoying the content, go down and hit that subscribe button. I think it's something like 87% of everyone who watched the content in the last 28 days is not subscribed. So what are you waiting for? Go down and join the community. Let me know your thoughts. Channel membership available in the bio. Now, when I went into this game, I actually thought Newcastle would win, and I predicted a Newcastle win, but Wolves actually put up a fair fight. Wolves got some talented players. Ain't Nouri's class. Hwang's a good player. João Gomez is pretty good in the middle, and obviously they brought Matthias Cunha back off the bench. But I've said it, and I will say it again. This Newcastle midfield for me right now is I don't know if you watched the Newcastle video I did the other day. Make sure you go and check that out. But this midfield of Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali, and Joelinton, for me right now, is the best functioning, performing, well-oiled machine of a midfield there is in the Premier League. You got the brilliance of Bruno Guimaraes that can pick a pass like there is no tomorrow and pick the lock. You got the defensive stability of the number 6 in Tonali. And since Eddie Howe has put him back into that number 6, they have won and won and won. The next game is Bournemouth at St James's. Let's be honest, I think they're going to win. And then they've got Joelinton, who is a kind of box-to-box 8, can also play as an advanced midfielder, can also track back, and occasionally does actually score goals. Let's not forget, this guy was a striker. Then you got Murphy. I don't think it's the right time to come out here and start shitting on any Newcastle players. But I look at the other two and think there's goals and assists galore there. Murphy's an interesting one. Because if Newcastle recruited a right winger of real quality and maybe had one more midfielder and a centre-back, I wouldn't... I'm not saying they're going to challenge, but if you brought in, let's say, Guéhi, let's say a forward of someone like... trying to think of a winger that could come in. Let's say a Nico Williams, hypothetically, if they splashed that Champions League money they got, and a midfielder, I don't think they're that far away from challenging. Isak again today. The guy is a machine. 2 more goals for Newcastle United. And when you look at the Premier League right now, they are flying. 15 goals and 5 assists this season for Newcastle United for Alexander Isak. 6 goals and 4 assists this season for Gordon. 7 assists and 3 goals this season for Jacob Murphy. 6 assists and 1 goal for Bruno Guimaraes. 4 assists, 4 goals and 1 assist for Joelinton. Lewis Hall and Livramento as well as a fullback pairing are very, very good. I actually think Lewis Hall's been the best left back in the league this season. The first goal comes from, guess who else? Alexander Isak. And, you know, at the time when he scored, I kind of thought, yeah, it's a long day at the office for Wolves. You know, Newcastle got ahead. Isak becomes the first player to score in 8 Premier League consecutive games, and he's chasing down that Jamie Vardy record at the moment. You know, Gordon picks out a pass from the left-hand side, cuts inside. His initial attempt is blocked, and then Isak runs on, picks up a loose ball, has another shot, and it's in the back of the net. And I was like, right, okay, the guy he's got parts of players. I don't know if you saw, I'll try and put a video to James Lawrence Alcott in the description, and he summed it up perfectly. He's got the poacher of Aguero, the inbox kind of dominance of a Haaland, and then he's kind of got the flair and to run at a player like a Thierry Henry, but he mixes them all up so well. It's really like looking at him, the way he plays. He's one of the most enjoyable players to watch in the Premier League. They go 1-0 up at half time. Strand Larsen hits the woodwork right just before half time, and I thought that could be a very interesting change. Now, fair play to the Wolves manager because he brought on Cunha at half time. Now, Cunha for me has got so much quality. I think he is absolutely class. But I always speak about the first 15 minutes in the second half as how important that can be. And you bet your Newcastle follow up with a second goal. Bruno Guimaraes, short corner, he's worked centrally, who just outside the box plays a delightful ball into Isak. And then he just, you know, with a simple finish, stays calm, puts it past Jose Sarr and makes it 2-0. And you're talking about the most informed player in the Premier League, doesn't just score. He then creates one and, you know, lays off Gordon, you know, who's unmarked and slots it home. And Newcastle go 3-0 up. Wolves have a goal ruled out from VAR, a kind of similar story for them this season. And you now look at Newcastle, who are in the best form in the Premier League right now and are back into the top 4. They're in a really, really strong position right now, Newcastle. And it's hard to not see them as a very, very strong top 4 contender. I'm quite happy to sound record right now, the way they're playing. I do think they will be in the top 4. They've got this defensive stability with Botman being back. They've also got Burn and Shaw as really good centre-backs. They've got such a good fullback pairing of Livramento and Hall. And that midfield, the trio of dreams right now, along with Isak and Gordon, they're firing. Look at their form right now. 5 wins in a row in the Premier League. And when you look at their form in all competitions, they're potentially 90 minutes away from being in a final. And look at their last, I don't know if I can show you this. I don't know if I can get all 9 games in. I think I can. I don't know if you'll see it very clearly, but I'll go back slowly. 3 goals against Bromley, 3 goals against Wolves. That's 6, conceded 1. 2 against Arsenal. That's 8, conceded 1. 2 against Spurs, that's 10, conceded 1. That's 10 goals scored, 2 conceded. 5 more, so that's 15, conceded 2. 4 more, that's 19, conceded 2. Conceded 1 more, scored 3 more, so that's 22, conceded 3. Add another 4, that's 27 goals scored in their last 9 games. So they're averaging 3, and they've only conceded 1. And you look at their fixtures coming up. Now, they got a favourable cup tie against Birmingham, which I think they will make a lot of changes and still go out there and do the business. I think they will win their next 2 Premier League games against Bournemouth and Southampton. Bournemouth are an interesting side, and they do show a bit of character. They played really well yesterday at Stamford Bridge, and they have got some good players. I'm a big fan of Semenyo, and I like Kluivert, and I like Evan Nilsson, and their fullback for me, Kirikez, is very, very good as well. But then you look at Newcastle at home right now, who are one of the most informed sides at home this season. The only team that has won more games than them is Brentford, Liverpool, and Arsenal. I do think they'll beat Bournemouth. I do think they'll go down to Southampton and win. And I did say I don't think they'll beat Fulham, but I may have to change my mind and say they will. When you look at them right now, their home form is very, very good. They've got a better home form than City, better than Chelsea. Only the top three, not even that, they've got a better home form than Forest. Only Arsenal, Liverpool, and Brentford. When you look at their away form, they're also fifth as well. So they deserve to be in the top four based on how good they've played this season. And when you've got a player like Alexander Isak, for me, he is absolutely world class. World class, that guy. Absolutely insane performance. Insane. He does all of the right things. Hold up play, movement, finishing, IQ, takes players on, first touch, pace, availability, energy. He's always there, man. And he's got 17 Premier League goals a season. And fair play to Gordon, because Gordon's really starting to, contribute this season. I think he's got, is it 17 Premier League goals now for Isak? And you've got to remember as well, that's 0 penalty goals. So that's 17 non-penalty goals right now. He's absolutely flying. Fair play, because they deserve to be where they are. You look at the fixtures they've got coming up. I do think they will beat Arsenal in the return leg at St James's Park. And I think they're 90 minutes away from, as it stands right now, to make history for them and win their first bit of silverware. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you have that subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Newcastle have what it takes to get top four this season? Do you think Newcastle will win a major honour this season? Make sure you go and check out the Newcastle video I did the other day, as well as the Arsenal versus Tottenham match reaction. I'll see you all soon. Drop a like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel. I am